how are you feeling right now? It's the first ever time you've ever shaved a head.
Feeling great here, Ben. I think this may be the career that I was actually searching for all those years.
Now, this always turns out to be good radio. Rod, you can get started whenever you want to. Basically, to talk through what is happening right now, Rod has clippers on my head and he's shaving head. That is that simple.
How is that feeling, Ben?
It's always a very soothing and relaxing experience, I find. I actually will admit that since having this done a few years ago, I tend to get my head shaved a little bit more often than I used to. And right now, it's probably the least amount of hair I've had on my head before getting it shaved, because I actually accidentally got this shaved by my mother about a month and a half ago. There's another story.
Accidentally by your mother?
Well, long story short, I was a bit stingy and I couldn't be bothered paying for a haircut knowing I was getting it shaved in about a month and a half. I wanted to save all my money to give to the Leukemia Foundation for its great shave, let's be honest. And I said to Mum, I'm like, look, can you just get some clippers and just give me a bit of a trim? And of course, she sticks them onto my head, and what's the first thing she does? She takes a massive chunk out of my hair. So we had no choice but to shave it off. So that actually wasn't that much of a longer story. But we are doing this, of course, for the Leukemia Foundation, the world's greatest shave, which is on next week between the 13th and 16th of March. We're doing this a little bit early because I will be venturing off to Melbourne next week, of course, as we do every year with Sam for the Grand Prix. And we did this a little bit early. And I have to say, Rod, for a first-time shaver, you're doing a very good job. You have some magic hands.
I'm concentrating very hard here, Ben.
Very hard, actually. I remember when Josh did this, the first ever time I did this on air, 2009, and Josh shaved my head. It took him about 50 minutes to get a piece. Like, I just said, Josh,
go for
shave it. You can't stuff up shaving a head. He's even got the ear action. He's literally grabbing the ears and moving them back and making sure that it's all intricately done. As a Richmond supporter, Rod, is this just a joy doing this to a Carlton supporter right now?
Look, I hadn't considered that aspect, but I may well go in a bit harder, given you've mentioned that, and play the man.
I won't mention what happened in the finals last year then, because then all of a sudden I'm going straight in the head and I'm going, whoops, oh, there goes your ear. It's fallen off right now. People can, of course, donate to the cause. As I said, we'll put the link back up on our site, raising funds for the Leukemia Foundation. It's always great when I hear the laughter start to come from the person shaving my head.
Will we get this? Will we get photos of this up on the website very soon, Ben?
Of course. The joys of social media is that we can get this up very, very quickly and put it out there for our listeners to enjoy. And it's always very good radio. I hope people are tuning in right now and just hearing and my voice. Because that always is a bit of a worrying sign if you don't know. They might actually think something's wrong with their radio. There's nothing wrong with your radio. Should people listening to Edge Radio? There's never anything wrong with your radio if you're listening to Edge Radio. Let's be 100% honest. We are obviously going to be talking about sport at some point with Rod. Rod's come in here with all these facts and figures to talk about the world of sport, and here he is shaving someone's head. When you signed up to Edge Radio, Rod, did you actually think that's something you'd be doing?
Look, I didn't anticipate that I'd be doing this, Ben, but you know, there may be other members of the station administration who need to have their heads shaved. What do you think?
Well, if there's anybody upstairs right now in the offices at Edge who are listening to this and want to come down and get... We've actually got hair colouring. I think Rod said you were going to colour your hair, but you might have backtracked on that.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure I've worn the right clothes for that.
Oh, there's excuses. Richmond supporter.
And that's a pretty lame one, isn't it?
It's a Richmond supporter excuse. Yeah, we're rebuilding, and
next
year we will finish 8th, not 9th. It's actually getting quite close. It's obviously next week.
Well, that's right. Next Friday, Collingwood and Fremantle.
We will be at that game, Sam and I, myself, actually. Having said that,
tweeting up a storm.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I'm very much feeling lightheaded in a good way on my head right now. No hair there at all. The good thing about what's the time? 8:45 on a Friday morning is that the university has tutorials ready to go. They're off. Is it all off? Is it right? He's giving me the look. He's
just need to do a bit more on that left-hand side there, Ben, and I think it'll be ready for Hobart streets.
I'll let Rod go to work in that, and what we'll do in a second, we'll go back to music so we can come back and at least talk a little bit of sport with Rod and finish this off potentially off air. So the good thing about 8:45 on a Friday morning is that there's university classes about to go in to one of the rooms nearby, and you have university students who generally peer into our studio and don't actually realise we can see them. And they're seeing somebody getting their head shaved right now. So should have done this a week ago. Lara could have been shaving my hair. That would have been an interesting experience. David O'Byrne shaved my hair one year.
Did he?
He did.
How did he go?
Well, I didn't have any cuts or bruises or...
I think I've avoided a nick or a little...
Just looking, I'm feeling.
It's not a bad cut.
Not a bad cut. Sue's wondering. What we might do is I'm going to venture back here and hair all over the place at the moment, and I'm going to go back into the music, and we will come back, chat a little bit sport with Rod, what we can fit in, and then we will obviously finish this hair off right now, but we're going to go back to the music, come back very, very shortly. It is The Brink here on Edge Radio 99.3 FM.